Good evening and welcome to News Channel 8. I'm Jerome Aegean, and here's some of the top stories we have for you tonight. An IRB employee is arrested on St. Thomas. An update on that tragic fishing accident. And Hovensa to the rescue. These stories and more are up next on News Channel 8. In our top story tonight, an employee of the Internal Revenue Bureau and her husband have both been arrested on swindling charges in St. Thomas. News Channel 8's Lee Carl files this report.
A husband and wife charged with swindling the Virgin Islands Internal Revenue Bureau were brought before the Magistrate Court Judge Kathleen Mackay, advised of their rights on 7 criminal charges on Tuesday. Leroy Brown Jr., 40, and his wife, IRB employee Colette Brown, 43, both of Lindbergh Bay, were taken into custody Monday after a Justice Department investigation uncovered that approximately $118,903 in fraudulent income tax refund checks were issued by the IRB employee. The pair is jointly charged with obtaining money by false pretenses, identity theft, conspiracy, criminally influenced and corrupt organization act, embezzlement by clerks, agents, and employees, forgery, conversion of government property stemming from an alleged scheme executed in June and July of 2006. The Justice Department Special Agent Mae Wheatley said was the lead investigator in the complaint filed by the IRB representatives on a number of questionable income tax returns. Now, according to the affidavit filed by Wheatley, Colette Brown, an occupation tax error examiner, is alleged to have issued about 32 false tax refund checks and mailed them to a post office box registered in her name. According to the affidavit, Colette Brown would file fake income tax returns in the names of family members or persons she knew as a result of the fraudulent claims, tax returns being filed, and then the check was generated. Colette Brown would forge the name of the payee, deposit the check into her bank account. According to Wheatley, in some instances, Colette Brown would have the payee endorse and negotiate the checks and hand it over the cash to her. Investigation shows the total amount in the unauthorized income tax refund checks were negotiated by or on behalf of Colette Brown, approximately $97,156, as she wrote in an affidavit. In other cases, according to Wheatley, Colette Brown issued bogus checks in the names of her husband, Leroy Brown Jr., and her husband's son, Leroy Brown III. At that time, Leroy Brown III was a minor. Wheatley wrote that Leroy Brown Jr. would then endorse to cash the checks made payable to him and his son. In St. Thomas, Lee Carl for News Channel 8.
And in other news, rescue efforts continue for the missing boater this evening. News Channel 8's Wes Small has been talking with the wife of 38-year-old Pablo Carrasquillo, and she's just holding together. Here's News Channel 8's Wes Small with a follow-up on the fishing tragedy and a brief look at your crime blogger report as well.
Now, sadly, at around 8:30 yesterday morning, one of the boaters was found, and that was about 2.5 miles off of the airport coastline. Still, the Coast Guard and local authorities are still looking for 38-year-old Pablo Carrasquillo. Like I said, he has 2 twins, 16 years old. They both go to Central, and also a 12-year-old. And he was a welder for Wyatt. So our heart goes out to that family and our prayers as well. Please be careful on the waters, especially when there's a small craft advisory. Just a couple of notes from the crime blotter that recently over the weekend we've noticed that domestic violence cases are sort of escalating. There is a 20-year-old Melvin Hendrickson, we believe, he allegedly stabbed his 70-year-old father, we believe, in the vicinity of La Loma Grocery in Monbijou. Hendrickson is from Monbijou as well. He stabbed his dad multiple times, and that has been now turned into a domestic violence case. He's been held with various charges on him. Also, coming from Monbijou, 33-year-old Laura Randolph. She saw her boyfriend escort another woman out of a club over the weekend. She followed him home and assaulted him with a knife, stabbed him multiple times. So she has been held at Golden Grove for those charges. Also in Richmond recently, there was a 3 o'clock in the morning assault with domestic violence involving pipes and crowbars And when the police officers got there, they themselves were injured and later treated and released at Juan Louis Hospital. So I will try to get with Clement Lewis perhaps in the very near future to find out what is going on in our territory with some of these cases of domestic violence. With that, all our prayers and wishes are still going out to those fishermen out there that had trouble in the water. With that, be safe. I'm Wes Small for News Channel 8.
And this information just hitting our news press desk. Apparently, the Castle Coakley laundromat has been robbed. A cash pan was taken, and according to reports, 2 female perpetrators were involved. We'll give you more on this information as it comes to us.
I'm Judy Fricks with Crime Stoppers. We are asking your help to solve the following crimes. If you know something, please report it. Even information that seems insignificant may be just what law enforcement needs to solve these cases. Detectives on St. Croix need your help to locate Alva Papa Hodge, who was 27 years old when he left his home in estate Richmond on September 5th of 2002, and he was last seen at about 1:30 a.m. the next day at Sticks Restaurant in Christiansted. Mr. Hodge is 5 feet 4 inches, 145 pounds, brown complexion, brown eyes, reddish-brown hair with long locks, facial hair, and has sideburns. He was wearing a yellow t-shirt, short jeans, and black sandals. On St. John, a burglary occurred on March 4th at about 2:30 p.m. in Glucksburg. Items stolen were a brown wallet with credit cards, a Lenovo laptop, an Aptec HD digital camcorder, a Citizen Echo Drive watch, an Omega watch, a gold hand chain, and a lady's necklace. Police on St. Thomas need your help to identify the person who shot and killed Lawrence Frazier of St. Thomas and Victor Smith of Tortola, both 24 years old, on October 31st, 2009 at about 3:45 a.m. They were traveling in the area of Back Street and Niagara in a white vehicle when one or more attackers shot into the vehicle, striking both victims several times. Please help police find the killers. Law enforcement has new questions for several tipsters, so if you submitted a tip in the past, please check back to see if we need to talk to you. Community members can submit tips online at www.crimestoppersusvi.org or by calling 1-800-222-TIPS, which is 8477. I'm Judy Fricks with Crime Stoppers.
When we come back from this break, we'll take a trip to the animal shelter. Stay with us.